In India, can there be a law to tax the air that we breathe in? Can there be a law to tax us based on the religion that we follow, the caste that we belong to, or the color of our skin? We know subconsciously that such laws are not possible. They are not allowed to make such laws. Not allowed to make such laws? Yes, not allowed to make such laws. Which means that there is a power even greater than the power given to the lawmakers to make laws. This superior power sets out the boundaries within which the lawmakers must make their laws. Now, coming to GST, various laws were passed by the lawmakers to bring GST into effect in our country. What were the powers given to the lawmakers to make laws with respect to GST? In this video, we are going to find out who or what this superior power is. How has it authorized the lawmakers to make laws with respect to GST? So let's begin. The topic is divided into 4 subtopics. First one being separation of power. It is one of the most fundamental concepts which helps us understand the difference between these terms. Do these terms mean the same? Short answer is no, they do not. As a student, in fact, if we misuse these terms, there is going to be loss of marks. And as a professional, if we misuse these terms, it will give an impression that we are not well read. So we can't let that happen. Based on the work done or functions performed by these bodies, they can be classified as follows. Starting with the first set of bodies, we have come across terms such as members of parliament, MP, member of state legislative assembly, etc. Right? What do these people do? Job of these people is to think of the problems we face as a community, as a society. Next, to come up with a good probable solution for the problem. To present or table the solution in front of their fellow members, other members of parliament, to have a discussion, debate, and to refine the original solution that they had come up with, and to finally pass the new refined law. These functions are called what? Any guesses? These functions are called legislative functions. It involves legislating, meaning making of laws. The body which makes the laws for the entire country at the union or central level is called parliament. The body making the laws for a particular state is called state legislature. We should not refer to these bodies as government, because government is something different, which we are going to see next. Next comes the government. The job of government is to enforce or bring into effect the laws made by the legislature. Only making laws is not enough. There is a need for enforcement or practically implementing the laws made by the legislature. Example of government is the police. The people in the police station, they are called what? They are called government employees. Even the posts such as that of the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, etc., they are all part of the government. The functions performed by the government are called what? Any guesses? They are called executive functions. Why? Because they execute the law made by the legislative bodies. The Union of India or Centre has central government, and all the states have their own state governments. Next, what roles do courts play? When two parties are at conflict and are not able to resolve the matter amongst themselves, they approach the courts. The courts are independent bodies. They have no influence or connection either with the law making bodies or the law implementing bodies. This enables them to impartially and fairly, based on the laws in force and the principles of right and wrong, they pass their judgments. These functions are called what? They are called, that's right, they are called judicial functions. Now that we know the differences between these three functions, let's give ourselves a small test. Can we say we must follow the laws made by the government? Is this sentence correct? Pause the video and comment below. Next, who can make laws for taxes? And what is the superior power? Taxes can be levied by or charged by the union or center and by the states. When we say union or center, we don't mean the union government or the state government. We don't mean them. We don't exactly mean the parliament and state legislature also. The union has a lawmaking body called the parliament, and the union itself has a law implementing body called the central government. But union in itself is a separate concept. The power to make laws is with the union. How will they make the laws? They will make the laws via parliament. Alright. So, who gave them this power? Where is it mentioned that they have the power to charge taxes? Where is it mentioned? It is mentioned in the Constitution. This is the superior power that we have been referring to. No tax shall be levied or collected without the authority of law, meaning all taxes that can be charged or collected should be as per some law. Now, a logical question will come in our minds that, okay, nobody can ask us for a tax which is not as per law, but the laws are made by them only, right? Is there something that is stopping them from making a law that everyone should pay tax on the air that we breathe? Is there something that is preventing them? The answer is the Constitution stops them. The Constitution has laid down in Article 246 on what topics or matters the union and the state can make their laws. Since the list of topics was long, Article 246 referred this list at the end of the entire constitution in the form of a schedule, schedule number 7. So, schedule number 7 contains this list. All the matters for the union are mentioned in list 1. For the states, all the matters are mentioned in list 2, and there are also some matters for which the laws can be made by either the center or by the state. These are given in list 3. List 1, also known as the union list, contains matters such as income tax, customs duty, central excise. So, yes, no tax can be collected or levied without the authority of law. Okay. And no law can be made by the union to collect tax if that matter is not part of the union list. So, next, let's come to list 2. List 2 is also called the state list. It contains items such as taxes on mineral rights, state excise duty, electricity. Finally, let's come to list 3. This list is also called the concurrent list. There are absolutely no entries relating to taxation in the concurrent list, meaning all the matters listed here are other than tax related matters. For example, laws relating to marriage, divorce, family planning, etc. But these are only examples. This list has many diverse entries. The lawmaking powers listed in concurrent list are mutually exclusive, meaning either the union or the state shall make the laws on any of the matters given here, but the union and the state, they cannot make the laws together. It will be either the union or the state, but they can't make the laws together. And if it so happens that there is a clash of provisions made under a law passed by the parliament with the provision under a state legislation, then the law made by the parliament shall prevail. It shall have the upper hand. So this was the backdrop. This is how the lawmaking powers have been distributed for India. The lawmakers now wanted to introduce GST. Under GST, they wanted the union and the states to pass the laws together. So now this was a challenge. To overcome this challenge, the lawmakers had to introduce a new article. Just after Article 246, which contains these powers, the lawmakers introduced Article 246A. This was inserted by Constitution 101st Amendment Act. Let's look at what it says. It says, notwithstanding anything contained in Article 246, which we just read, Article 246 containing List 1, List 2, List 3, the Parliament and State Legislature, meaning together, the Parliament and the State Legislature have power to make laws with respect to GST. This is a phenomenal, never done before change in our constitution. This power is called simultaneous power. It is very different from concurrent power. Next, it says exclusive power. That means only the parliament can make laws with respect to GST when it comes to supply of goods or services in the course of interstate trade or commerce. So generally, both the parliament and state legislature, they can make laws. But if it is a interstate supply, if it is a interstate supply, then only the parliament can make laws. Using this power, presently, when there is a within the state supply or intra-state supply, the tax is levied by both the union and the states in the form of CGST and SGST. CGST standing for Central GST and SGST standing for State GST. Whereas whenever we do a interstate transaction, then there will be only one tax called IGST. This IGST is levied by the union. Next, the constitution defines what is GST. GST means any tax on supply of goods or services or both. On what? The tax is on supply, except taxes on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. Alcoholic liquor for human consumption is totally outside GST. It is very interesting to note that a key word supply itself has not been defined in the constitution. Now that we know how GST is levied, let us look at the next two stages after levy. There are three stages starting from levy, going to collection, and finally distribution. This is the life cycle of the entire taxation. Levy deals with who has the power to make the law with respect to the tax. Collection is who has the power to actually receive the money from the taxpayer. Distribution is who gets to use the money that has been collected. You will be surprised to know that levy, collection, and distribution, all of these three are independent. Levy of a tax may be done by the center. Collection of it may be done either by the center or by the state. And finally, whatever has been collected may be distributed either to the center or to the state. Based on these concepts of levy, collection, and distribution, our constitution has divided taxes into three types. The first one being Article 268, which says that there are some taxes which will be levied by the union, but the tax collection will be done by the states and the money will also be kept with the states itself. Which tax is this? This is stamp duties mentioned in the union list. So whichever stamp duties are mentioned in the union list, the law for that will be made by the union. Actual money collection will be done by the states, and the states themselves will retain this money and use it for their purposes. Next article is Article 269, immediately after 268. It talks about those taxes which are levied by the union, collected also by the union, but the money is assigned or distributed to the states. Which taxes are these? These are CST mentioned in the union list. The next article is Article 270, immediately after 269. It talks about those taxes which are levied by the union, collected also by the union. What will be here in Article 270? Any guesses? Let's see who this money goes to. This money goes to both the union and the states. Who decides how much money will the union get and how much money will the states get? It is decided by the Finance Commission. And to which type of taxes this applies? This applies to all other taxes mentioned in the union list. So, what is common in Article 268, 69, and 70? It is that we are only talking about the distribution of money which is levied by the union. What do we understand from this? We understand that the tax which the union levies, it is never entirely used by the union. Either it is entirely given to the states or it is divided between the union and the states. Now, these are the taxes which are mentioned in the union list. After the introduction of GST, we have GST as a tax which is not mentioned in the union list because it is not part of Article 246, but it is part of Article 246A. It is a separate code. So, under Article 246A, the union gets two types of taxes. The first is on intrastate or within the state supplies. The CGST portion goes to the union. The second is in case of interstate supplies, the entire IGST portion, that tax is also levied by the union. Hence, both of these taxes also needs to be bifurcated. Let's see how the bifurcation was done. A new article, Article 269A, was inserted just after 269. It provided for division of IGST on interstate supplies. It said this IGST on interstate supply, it is levied by the union, collected by the union, but the money will go to both the union and the states. And who will decide how much will the union and how much will the state get in case of IGST? It will not be decided by the Finance Commission, but it will be decided by the GST Council. So that is a major difference between Article 270 and 269A. In Article 270, the division happens based on the Finance Commission, whereas in Article 269A, it happens based on the recommendations of the GST Council. So this was the division of one of the taxes under GST that the union levies, that is IGST. But the union also levies CGST, right? The union also levies CGST. What about the division of CGST? So to accommodate that, Article 270 itself has been amended, and apart from all other taxes in the union list, CGST and IGST portion of the union, which is coming from 269A, has been added here. With this, we come to an end to this video. Let us know if we were clear in our explanation. We would love to hear from you. Do give your feedback in the comment section below. Happy learning. Bye.